Hello and welcome to your Spirit of the Soul show. It's Power Coach Alicia here. We have a special session today, which is a question slash story that was sent in from one of my Soul Shift members. And I thought about doing this as a live response inside of my members only community, but I realized that this is something that I need to discuss openly. Okay, so not going to share names, but I'm going to share the situation and my feedback on this in hopes that if you get stuck in trigger sabotage cycles due to traumas, demons, burdens, things have happened to you in the past, that this gives you some power and some understanding of why you're in this cycle and some steps to start taking to break free of that. So today we're talking about how to get out of a constant trigger sabotage cycle, and this trigger sabotage cycle being given to you, or let me rephrase that. Ugh, I don't like that phrasing at all. This trigger sabotage cycle happening because you haven't rewrote your definitions, decided what's true for you, and stepped forward in your own power. Openly. Okay, let me grab this link so I can drop it there. All right. Go, 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 go. Oh, computer's moving a little bit slow today. All right. So, anyways, if you are live here with me, please shout out hashtag live party. If you are watching this on replay, please shout out hashtag after party. As I go throughout this live, I would love if you would respond as if you were here with me, live with me. If you are live with me, respond live, right? When I ask questions, answer those questions in the comments. The more you engage, the more that you will get out of this, the more you will retain it, and the more that it will help you step into your own transformation and the actions that you take for yourself. Also, I have a brand new quiz that teaches you how to identify what stage of spiritual awakening and soul healing that you are in. This is a powerful quiz so you know right where you are, so you know right where you need to go, and the roadmap to get you there. So if you shout out soul in the comments, I will get you the link to that quiz so that you can take it. It is 100% free. Also, we are just a couple of days away from the early bird ending for my spring clean, clear, and release retreat that is coming up on March 26th. If you want to get in on this retreat at the lowest possible price, right now, today is the time to get in, because tomorrow it goes up in price. And why pay more for the same information? If you are a Soul Shift member, you get this retreat for a steal of a deal. So what I want you to do is shout out clear in the comments. And this retreat is all about helping you clean, clear, and release what no longer serves you so you can step into Q2, the spring time, the beautiful energy of the universe, and plant and create what it is that you want in your life. But first, clean, clearing, and releasing that doesn't serve you so that you aren't taking that forward with you into the spring. So all you need to do is shout out clear in the comments. Again, if you are live with me here, comment hashtag live party. If you're on replay, comment after party, but engage the entire time, because that is how you are going to get the most out of learning how to get out of your constant trigger sabotage cycle. All right, so let's step into today's content. So this is the entirety of the thing, and then I'm going to break this down. Okay, I have no notes. I have nothing that I'm bringing to the table with this. This is all going to be intuitive guidance and information that comes through on this. All right. So the post says, my journal entry is this: I know what my dad did to me was wrong. Oh, stop. I guess we have to do trigger warnings. I have a whole issue about trigger warnings and why we need to give these to people. Like I think that if you are triggered by something that someone didn't tell you that they were going to bring up a topic and it does trigger you, that is your sign that you need to stop avoiding, quit sweeping under the rug, and do fucking work to heal your soul. Because listen, things can't trigger you that you have taken action to clean, clear, and release. Right? So the people around you should be able to talk about, or, if you click play on a live like this, they should be able to bring up things that are, things that you have been through that are part of your journey. And yeah, they might create a little tinge, or there may be some compassion, there may be some empathy that comes up within you and for the other person that the story is being told. But I am a firm believer that we don't need to do trigger warnings. We need to actually work on the things that trigger us. I believe that the whole trigger warning statement is a way that other people manage other people's emotions, a way that other people manage that someone else isn't willing to do the work within themselves that they need to do to clean, clear, and release. And therapy is not that kind of work. Therapy teaches you how to put it in a place and continue on with your life so that you are still triggered. So now the world has to have fucking trigger warnings. I digress. Here we go. I know what my dad did to me was wrong. Molesting me from 10 to 16 years old before bed every night is normally jail time. But back then, because nobody believed a 16-year-old whose father was a former military officer and an upstanding citizen in the community, my father never served the time needed. It holds no purpose for me to hold on to this. He will get what he deserves in death. But I'm also afraid of my own divine judgment after I die. I feel that I will go to the same hell he goes to. And if I do, I don't think I deserve the same good that I deserve the same good that life has to offer me. So I live my life now with that expected death in mind. I shouldn't and strive to be a good person, but I feel that I don't deserve good. What steps can I take to not expect this outcome for myself? That's kind of what I've been struggling with since I was a teenager, and I'm 32 now. I'm hoping this helps others who've been through the same or something similar. Okay. The very first thing I want to start with is quality questions. So put that in the chat. Comment below the words quality questions, right? This is where you start to engage in this conversation, okay? Quality questions. So right off the bat, she's not asking herself quality questions. She's talking about her what is the word? I am not a religious person, so if I don't use the right fucking phrasing, get over it. Um, it's like when you die, where you're going, and how you are. What the fuck is the word when they decide God, Jesus, whoever the fuck, where you go and how it's configured? I can't think of the fucking word. Somebody on replay will, or if you're here live, put it in the comments for me. But where you're going to go, the life that you've lived decides how you're going to live, or where you're going to go when you die, and what that's going to look like. Okay. I understand that is potentially the way that this is worded. I'm going to say this is a lie you tell yourself, but we're going to get to that in a second. The way that this is worded, that it's not a belief system that you have. It's actually something that you're lying to yourself on to keep yourself small. Because if it was a belief system, it wouldn't be verbalized like this, okay? So there's something about this whole divine judgment. When I die, we're going to be in the same place. I'm going to get the same, level of treatment, if you will, that he did, sort of thing. So we're going to get to that in just a second. But the first thing I want to share is quality questions. So throw down in the comments quality questions. I want you commenting as you go along here, okay? The question that she asks here is, what steps can I what steps can I take to not expect this outcome of myself? Okay, so that's what I'm going to put in the chat here. Then I'm going to throw this up on the screen. And we're going to talk about why this isn't a quality question. We're going to talk about what the quality question would be to ask. What steps can I take to not expect this outcome for myself? Okay. If this is an expected outcome for yourself, there's no steps that can be taken. So this is not a quality question because the question already backs you into a corner with a decision that you have already made. So there is no steps that you will take that will stop you from expecting this outcome, with this being the question, with this being the thought process, with this being your focus. The quality question is, what steps can I take to value, honor, and respect myself and the truth of what has happened to me and the truth about the person that I am? What steps can I take to release the false belief systems surrounding this situation that has made me believe all of this time something that I know is not true for me. If this is your expected outcome, and if this is your belief system, and if this is what you believe to be true for you, there are no steps that you can take. But because you're asking the question of what steps can I take to not expect this outcome for myself, that tells me that you don't expect the outcome for yourself. It's that you're holding on to this being the outcome to keep yourself small. So let me move into the lies you tell yourself. I want you to comment the lies I tell myself. Okay. So I'm putting in the chat the lies you tell yourself because I'm teaching you, but I want you to comment with the lies I tell myself. Okay. Let's break this down into the next part. If this is your belief system, okay, so let's step into religion for a second. If you have this belief system religiously of this judgment day sort of thought process of on judgment day, I am going to be judged accordingly, and then I am going to be put in whatever quote unquote kingdom there is. I'm pulling a little bit of LDS religion here, that's a derivative of Christianity, but it doesn't matter what religion you are. There is this, well, most of them have this idea that when you die, there is a judgment day, and eventually everybody is going to be judged based on their actions, how they showed up, what kind of person they were, what they gave to the world, the empathy, the sympathy, all of those sorts of things are going to be brought to the forefront in that on that judgment day. Okay. The one thing, and I do not believe in organized religion, but I don't have to in order to understand it, which I do very well. Okay. So one of the things that I challenge on, which is the whole baseline of most religion, is how the fuck could your judgment day in logic, in religion, in Jesus, in God, in the belief system that you have, in analyzing, this is why it's a lie. This is why I'm calling it out as a lie that you tell yourself to keep yourself small, to keep yourself in this place, is there's no possible way that if you've done right by other people and yourself in all other ways, barring mistakes that you've made, right? Because supposedly those are the mistakes that Jesus died for. So in a religious belief system, you know that any quote unquote normal mistakes, like I said, barring murdering someone or potentially molesting your daughter for 6-7 straight years of her life, or different things that fit into those categories. Jesus has already died for the mistakes that you have made. So why, the quality question I have for you is, why do you automatically go to the same place as him after death on judgment day when you have not done anything to the same levels that he has done? Maybe Jesus didn't die for his mistakes, which in my mind he wouldn't have, but God knows what religion believes. But damn straight, any mistakes you've made, Jesus did die for. He's already done that. So what is it that you have done that is at the same level of your Father, that on judgment day you will be cast into the same category as him? That's my question. But it's a rhetorical question because I know the answer is nothing. So the better question is, why are you lying to yourself and saying that you're stuck in this place because you fear at the judgment day of your death you're going to be in the same place that he's in, when it makes no sense? The reason why is because if you let go of this idea, you have nothing left to hold on to. You have nothing left to keep you there. And letting go of this idea feels like letting go of what you've known forever. The energy, the attitude, the decisions, the everything, the space that you have lived from, the everything that makes up the who you are and the way that you operate and the way that you show up is tied to that belief. So if you let go of the fact that you're scared of being in the same place as him when it's judgment day, and that's your last quote unquote thing that he has hold over, then what do you have? Then what do you do? Then who do you become? Then how do you show up? Then how do you speak? Then how do you operate? Then how do you love yourself? You can't keep beating yourself up. You can't keep living in that box. You can't keep making that the reason for fill in the blank. Please understand, every single person listening to this, and I know the person who wrote this is either live here or will listen to the replay. But you have to understand that this isn't about me denying what you've been through, because that's not what the conversation is that you brought to the table. This isn't a conversation of what you went through. This is a conversation of how you keep yourself small, how you keep yourself in the box, how you still hold on to it, even though you say you're ready to let go. Jesus dying for your sins and you being judged the same way of what your father did to you are diametrically opposed. There's no possible way that they can coexist in the same space. There's no way. The only reason why they coexist in the same space is because you are creating that as something to hold on to fear, because you're letting go of the fear and the pain and the hurt of what your dad did to you. And if you let go of that, then what the fuck do you have? Who are you? What do you have to beat yourself up over? What do you have to feel sorry for yourself over? What do you have to keep yourself a victim at those levels? You see, because when you let go of that, you go from victim to survivor. You go from surviving to thriving. You go from helpless to helpful, from powerless to powerful, to feeling unloved and like you don't matter, to feeling more loved than you ever have. And the challenge with that is what we always talk about in Soul Shift, okay? And that is uncomfortable equals feeling good. So when you get here, this feels uncomfortable because I'm starting to feel good. So my RAS, my reticular activating system, my ego is going to say, but wait, when you die, you're going to be judged the way he's judged for what he did. It is a completely hyperbolic thought process. And when you analyze it and you lay it all out, it makes no sense. But to you, it makes full sense, because in here, all that's happening is making it practical, making it logical, making it make sense when it does not make sense. You cannot hold on to a religious belief system that says Jesus died for your sins, and on judgment day, as long as you feel bad and you have repented and you have done right in all other ways since those moments and blah da da's, then you're going to be okay. And those that haven't, they aren't. It is very clear in religion how this works. And if you are a religious person, you are living in a space that is diametrically opposed. Again, I don't believe in any of it, but this is what you believe in, right? Or maybe this is part of a belief system that you are holding on to and editing to make yourself right. Okay? So, what I want to give you is, we talked about this the other day in Soul Shift Healing. You are feeling uncomfortable and it's starting to feel good. So your ego and your RAS is saying, oh no, we need to get you back where it's comfortable. right? And where it's comfortable is where you feel bad. It's comfortable, but I feel bad here. I'm used to feeling bad. I'm used to feeling like this molestation was my fault. I'm used to feeling like I was wrong. I'm used to feeling like those definitions that other people gave me, that I heard, that I experienced, are the truth for me, even though in my soul, they don't feel like the truth for me anymore. But because I'm comfortable in that container, even though I feel bad, I'm going to hold on to it, even though it makes no sense, even though it doesn't serve me, even though when I die, I won't remember anyways. And that's my next part. You're not going to remember anyways. You're not going to know anyways. You're not going to live that anyways. Because when you die, actually, a great book is called The Seat of the Soul. I'm actually listening to it right now, where it separates the personality from the soul. The Seat of the Soul by something. It's like a German name, a Russian name, something Blogakov. You'll find it. It's a yellow, like sunshine background, yellowy orange book, The Seat of the Soul. You absolutely need to read that book, listen to that book on Audible. Okay. Because when you die, it's your soul that goes on. And what your soul is doing is taking the experiences that you've had and taking them with it. And then when it reincarnates, this is my belief system. This is a big part of my belief system of when it incarnates into another bodily form, a human being, right? It's taking all those experiences. But the biggest thing about the soul is it's taking the experiences and the lessons. But if you didn't learn the lessons, they're bringing them into this body. So like, if you don't learn this now, you're just going to take this into the next body that your soul goes into, and they're going to have to learn it. It's like this is part of the soul contract that you have, is to heal from this and grow from this. And the question is, at what lifetime will you do that? And if you don't believe in multiple lifetimes, which you must, because if you're worried about living in the same place that he is when you die, then that means you believe in the spirit and the soul living somewhere on the other side, right? Do they just live there all the time in your belief system? Do they come back into a body in your belief system? Like, dive deeper into this. And if you're in that line between spirituality and religion, now's a good time to take all of these ideas and all of these things that you've been taught and kind of set them aside and pull one thing out at a time and start going through these things and start getting clear on these things and start really understanding what the fucking truth is for you, and detach it from the molestation, because it actually has nothing to do with the molestation. This is a full on belief system. Maybe I think it's a lie that you're telling yourself to keep yourself stuck in this box with the molestation, because it's one of the last things that you need to release to be free. And freedom is uncomfortable. Freedom feels good, and that's uncomfortable. So to stay comfortable and feel bad, even though who the fuck would want to stay, like, continue feeling bad? It's a psychological thing. You feel comfortable feeling bad. We talk about this all the time, right? That you've grasped onto this one thing and you're bringing it into your forefront, into your psyche, and you're making the decision to make it true for you, to keep you small, to hold you back, to keep you in this box. Because if you let it all go, who the fuck are you? And that's the deep question that I would journal on if I were you. If I let go of all of the bad, all of these things, all of the bullshit that has kept me small and held me back and kept me in a box where I learned to operate and be and live and build a life and marry and raise children, if I let go of all of that, then who am I? That is a quality question. Okay? That is a quality question. Another quality question is, since that, since I was molested, be strong with yourself. Use the words. I wouldn't even say like since that happened to me, since my dad did that, since the da da da. No, say it. Since I was molested, what positive things have come out of that? Who is the powerful person that I have become? Who's the amazing person that I have become? What are the lessons that I've learned? How have I grown? And then ask yourself, The other quality question on the flip side of that: since my dad's molested me, what decisions have I made that have destroyed my soul, that have kept me small, that have held me back? Since my dad molested me, what am I now ready to let go of and willing to do whatever it takes to release it, to clean and to clear it from me forever? You see, when we start out with, what steps can I take to not expect this outcome for myself? My answer is none. You expect this outcome. There's no steps you can take to change your expectations. You expect it. So therefore, it will be. Ask yourself quality questions, get quality answers. Lie to yourself. You can take something that is completely illogical, it is hyperbolic, it is impractical, and you could take it and make it true for yourself and fuck it all up. So we took this specific situation, right? And Rebecca, I'm going to get to your comment in just one second. We took this situation, right? And we just honed it down into the question that was asked, right? And I wanted to cover that thoroughly. But if you blow this up into anything that you have been through, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, right? Sexual abuse, all of the things that have happened that are your traumas, demons, and burdens. And you put the different things that I have said, you put that in with these different things and the quality questions. Change, my dad molested me to my mom beat me, that my ex-husband beat me, or whatever the fuck it is. And you can just change those words and ask the same questions. Every bit of this applies to you if you have traumas, demons, burdens, and things that have happened to you in your past that you hold on to keep you small, to put you in the box, to hold you back. Because if you let go, it's going to feel good. And that's fucking uncomfortable. So you stay comfortable and you hold on because it feels good. So just because this was a specific topic to something someone brought up, it does not mean it does not apply to you. It applies to you for your life and your journey and what you have been through. And it applies to you because for whatever reason, you could play on this, right? So they always say, whatever quote, wherever the fuck this comes from, Henry Ford or I don't know, Napoleon Hill, I have no clue, that success lies right outside your comfort zone. Right? That's where the success is, outside the comfort zone. No matter how uncomfortable it is, that's where the success lies. That's where the transformation happens. Ask yourself quality questions. Don't allow yourself to lie to yourself. The other thing that I want to share with you is write new definitions. Shout that out in the comments. Okay? Put that in the comments. Write new definitions. If this is a religious belief system that you were given your whole life, is it still true for you? Is this still your belief system? Is this still real for you? Is this who you are now? Is this how you want to live? Is this where you come from? Is this your spirit? Is this your soul? Is this your journey? Or was that something that someone else gave you to get you to wherever you got to? And now, whenever this situation happened, this was a moment in time for you to write your new definitions, but instead you held on to the old ones and it got discombobulated and fucked up. And now you think that when you die on your judgment day, you're going to end up with the person who fucking destroyed your soul. How does that work? That can't happen. It's diametrically opposed. So you have to write new definitions on what your judgment day looks like. I don't believe in judgment days. I don't believe that I'm going to come before something, some entity, something, and it's going to decide for me where my spirit goes from there. I do believe in karmic paths. I do believe in soul contracts. I do believe in reincarnation and living multiple lives. I do believe that if you don't learn your lessons now, you will continue in this lifetime and in every lifetime to be presented with those lessons in different ways and different pains until you fucking get it, so that you don't have to continue learning those lessons. I do believe that. I do believe that when spirits leave the body, that they are embodying our earth, if you will, our world. They are here, they are there. The veil is so thin, it is so close to us being able to fully communicate, but it's our human beings, our human brains that create that block. But for me, there's nobody ever coming to judge me on Judgment Day. But I for fucking sure know that no matter whatever fucked up things I've done in my life, the beauty and what I've done and what I've brought and how I've shown up and the lives I've changed and the lives I've saved, that I'm damn sure going to the best fucking possible place with goddamn Patron and my favorite foods and people patting me on the back and just loving the fuck out of me, whatever that looks like, that's where I'll be, right? And not because I read it in a book somewhere, or because I was beaten over the head going to church every Sunday, or because someone told me that this is my belief system and I was born into this and this is what I must believe. It's because I wrote the definitions of what my spirituality looked like, what my connection to the universe, the spirit, the guides, the angels, what that looks like, because I know that people who have died in my life have come back and talked to me and guided me and given me what I've needed in moments, or just told me stories or apologized for what they've done. And I've had my own experiences that way, right? So, what I want to share with you is this: what are your definitions? What is your fucking truth? To get out of a constant trigger sabotage cycle is to stop the bullshit of the ego, to shut the fucking RAS down, and to step into quality questions that are from a higher perspective, from an aerial view, and answer those questions for yourself in a way that's going to give you answers that lead you to where you're meant to go, not that keep you small or not to where you're forcing yourself, but lead you down this journey of this path. Okay. So my last podcast season, when I launched my podcast, was called the Soul Fire Podcast. I want to talk about this for a second. Actually, I'll talk about it after I go into Rebecca's comment here. Rebecca says, with being raised with the thought process of the child pays for the sins of the father, I'm wanting to move away from that. So if you want to rewrite your spirituality, you want to rewrite your definitions, make sure that because you know you want to move away from a definition, that you don't buy into definitions that aren't true to keep you small. That was basically my entire point of this live and what I shared here today. So that's beautiful. So I can take what you've said here and use it with this topic to show you, like, hey, if you don't believe in this, make sure you don't, or you're not sure and you want to rewrite that, make sure you don't use these belief systems to hold you down and keep you small. See the fuckery in that and how our brains work and how we operate, how the ego shows up, how your RAS shows up. It's like, okay, I'm wanting to move away from this, but even though I'm wanting to move away from this, I'm going to use this idea to hurt myself. Wait, what the fuck? You said you wanted to let it go and build what's true for you. You can't do both. You can't move away and let go and build something new that's true for you and hold on to that to beat your own ass and to keep yourself down and to hold you small and to keep you small and to put you in a box. You can't have both. They are diametrically opposed. Yes, there's duality to every situation, but you can't hold both sides, because when you hold both sides, you have these moments of growth and lightness and these moments of darkness and destruction, and you come into this cycle of sabotage. You come into this cycle of triggering and fucking yourself up because you will not default to what you want to change in the new belief system. You will always default to old because you've decided that the old keeps you where you're comfortable and the new makes you uncomfortable. Fucking boom. So, Rebecca also says, I've never been comfortable with it. I attempt to practice and learn and study the craft. Yeah, so be clear. Let me be really clear about comfortable and uncomfortable. You can be comfortable and hate the way it feels. So therefore, you think you're uncomfortable. You're not. In uncomfortability is where things feel good and where growth happens. In the stage of spiritual awakening and soul healing that we're talking about here, there is a stage where you feel comfortable and amazing. And when you get there, Time to do some work, because if you don't, you're going to get complacent and you're going to go backwards. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a comfortability and like, this is how I operate. This is how I show up. This is how I flow. This is what I know. This is who I've always been. This is what I was taught. This is how I've always learned to function in life. That's what we mean by comfortable, even if it feels so fucked up and so uncomfortable, like it's rocking you to your core. It's still a comfortable way of living and mode of operation. That's what I mean. So there you go. You come in here and you say, I've been raised Christianity my whole life. I've never really believed that from the start. And I turned it to craft as a child. So then how the fuck can someone take this statement? And there's plenty of people who do this. This is why I love bringing this from the forefront outside of Soul Shift. And thank you, Rebecca, for being here and engaging with this and bringing different aspects so we can bring this full circle. It's like, okay, you've been raised in this your whole life and you never really believed it. Why do we take things that we've been raised in and we've never really believed in, and then we switch it and we hold ourselves down? And we use it to hold ourselves back. And we use it to keep ourselves small and to put ourselves in a box. Well, which is it? Do you not believe it? Or do you believe it? Or do you only allow it to impact you at the moments that you can treat yourself like fucking shit? That you can reconfirm and renew the bullshit that actually isn't how you want to live? Those are quality questions. So come from that angle, come from that standpoint. Whoever you are, when you're looking at this from your traumas, your demons, your burdens, and you will see that's how you stay in the trigger sabotage cycle. And let me be clear, in my world, I don't give a fuck if what I write and what I say is a trigger for you. And I mean that in an I don't give a fuck as in, I don't go through my post writing that this is a trigger warning and then I go in. I don't give a shit. If I write through my heart and I post that and it triggers you, good. I don't feel sorry. I'm not sad that it kicked you into a space. I want you there. I want you identifying it. I want you uncovering it. I want you diving into it. I want you asking yourself, why the fuck is this still here? Why do I still live with this? Why do I still let it impact me like this? Why do I still operate from this? I don't want you going, oh, she wrote trigger warning, I'm not going to read it. And I also don't want you going, oh, she wrote trigger warning, I'm going to protect myself from how this could impact me deeply so that I don't have to face it and do the work from it. Because to me, that's what that's saying. Oh, if this is going to impact you in such this heavy way, I want you to know that so you can protect yourself and guard yourself from it. No, I want you to feel it all and fucking do the work to clean, clear, and release it from you so that you can no longer be triggered by it and so that it no longer matters and doesn't have a fucking hold over you like it always has. Okay? Okay. If you don't know who I am, I'm Power Coach Alicia, soul healer, author, and speaker. I specialize in helping you go from burnout to recharge in 30 days or less, which I just really think I need to change that whole fucking thing, because I do specialize in helping you go from burnout to recharged in 30 days or less, but it's so much fucking deeper than that. It's almost like I help you go from being triggered and sabotaging yourself into whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know. I'm going to have to rewrite that. I just really realized that today. Okay. So with that being said, I want to go into a couple of things. Number one is, if you want to know what stage of spiritual awakening you're in and where you're at in your soul healing journey, I want you to go ahead and type soul in the comments. I'm going to send you a link to my brand new quiz as soon as it gets done. That's all about helping you identify what stage you're in. When you get done with that quiz, you'll go to a video of your results. And I'm going to walk you through what's going on, why you're there, what you need to look at, where you need to work. And from there, you could book a free soul healing session. And I'm going to map out an entire roadmap for you that helps you go through these stages so you can arrive at peak personal power state, but so that you also understand what the pitfalls all are along the way, and so that you can stay on the track that you want to be on to really connect with yourself, to heal, align your soul, and to live your life the way that you want to, okay? All you need to do is shout out soul in the comments. And if you want to create a calm in all areas of your life by cleaning and clearing all that no longer serves you, I have my spring clean, clear, and release retreat that is coming up on March 26th. Right now, it's on early bird pre-sale, but if you wait, this retreat is going to cost you more money. So whether you are a soul shift member or you're not, you're getting the pre-sale price right now. But after this pre-sale goes, and that is tomorrow, you're going to be paying $47 for this retreat. And then if you continue to wait, it will be $333. It is worth it at full price. It is going to change your fucking life. So I highly recommend that you get in on this retreat by typing clear, okay, in the comments. Yay, Rebecca, I'm so glad that you're going to be there. So be mindful how you say, these are questions I ask myself every day since what happened, been trying to find a release. Remember, the questions you're asking are not, or they could not be quality, right? So we need to get into the quality questions, and this session gives a lot of quality questions in there, and diving into journal prompts and shadow work. That's going to help a lot as well. I would dive into shadow work from Scorpio moon and Scorpio rising. What are the shadow sides of a Scorpio moon? What are the shadow sides of Scorpio rising? And what are some journaling prompts that you could do around those? Because your journey and what you go through in your life, the shadow side in astrology in your birth chart is what keeps you stuck there. And the light side of that is what helps you move through. Okay, so be very mindful. Are they quality questions? What are the lies that you're telling yourself? Are you in a comfortable, but it feels bad state, right? Are you in what I said at the beginning of like, this is all I've ever known. I know how to operate this way, love this way, raise my children this way, be it a relationship, my friends this way, myself this way, all of the things I know how to operate this way. If I let go of this thing, this is the question. If I let go of this thing, who the fuck am I? How do I operate in these situations? How do I operate intimately? How do I operate vulnerably? How do I operate in soul deep? Because you don't know how if you've been operating from a comfortable feel bad, and that's all you fucking know, because that's what's kept you alive and got you here, because you've been surviving. To release that and step into the uncomfortable feel good is one of the hardest shifts you will ever make in your soul healing, spiritually awakening journey. Okay, one of the hardest things. Yes, I love this. You have a temper like a Taurus and poisonous anger of a Scorpio. That's because they're opposite signs in the zodiac. So they are a lot alike. They are very, very, very similar, but because they're opposite signs, they can also have a lot of quote unquote issues with each other because they're so alike. And, you know, they're like, you know, fuck yous, kind of like, I don't like how in your energy you bring this out in me. So that's interesting. Find out where there's Taurus in your chart. That would make sense there too. All right. So let me just bring this home. How to get out of a constant trigger sabotage cycle. Number one, make fucking sure. Let's write these down. Oh, we got to get into. Wait. I got to go back to the Soulfire podcast. Then I'm going to come back to this. Soulfire podcast season 1 was just a Soulfire podcast where we talk about real life, real shit, real raw. Okay. Actually, let me redo this. So I need all of you to subscribe to the Soulfire podcast. There's nothing like it. I can tell you what, I do trainings all the fucking time. I do, well, I'm no longer doing soul camps at this time. I'm doing the quarterly retreat, soul treats. I do moon ceremonies. We do, you know, equinox and solstice. We do Mercury retrograde stuff. I have my Soul Shift Healing membership, my Revive Mastermind, which is really my expansion mastermind. I have all of these different things that I give. We have the Daily Spirit of the Soul show. Sometimes I do some long form posts. This podcast is completely different than everything else I do, but in a complementary, fucking high, powerful, soul charged way. If you've never listened to one of my episodes on the Soulfire podcast, what I just said to you makes no sense. If you have listened to the Soulfire podcast, you're like, holy fucking shit, yes. Because on there, it's just raw, real life, real shit, real raw, whatever I want to say, however I want to say it, however I feel it. And I'm going through my real life experiences, sometimes right after they've happened, right after someone has said something or done something or impacted me, and boom, it's a podcast episode. And it just comes out and it's all intuitively charged and it's fucking beautiful. Right, Rebecca? phenomenal podcast. And not because I wrote it, just because of that channeling, that energy, the way that I don't know what comes through. I just love the fucking Soulfire podcast. So if you haven't listened to it, go to soulfirepodcast.com, subscribe, share, and listen. Season 3 is coming out on April 25th. So in a little, actually about 6 weeks, season 3 releases. It is unfucking believable. I love this podcast. It helps me so much, and I'm the one that does it. I do not have guests on this podcast. It's me and me. I guess my guests are my guides, my spirit, and the universe that just comes through. Like, so my spirit guides, like, so true. I love it. So season 1 was just Soulfire podcast, real life, real shit, real raw. Season 2 was Journey of the Soul. And man, was it a journey of my fucking soul. Let me tell you what, it was a journey of my soul. Season 3 is going to be all about enjoying the journey of life, getting the fuck out of your way to allow the beauty, to allow the feel good, to allow the uncomfortableness to become the comfortableness so it can be uncomfortable again. So you continue to shift, to grow, to align, to expand your beautiful fucking soul. So if you want to go from just stepping into the power to learning how to go through the journey of the soul and the shit and the trudging and the drudgery and the beautifulness into enjoying the journey and getting the fuck out of your way, you need to go to soulfirepodcast.com, subscribe, listen, and share, because it is unfucking believable. I promise you that. Okay. I just had to share that with you. All right. Also notice that even though I want nothing more to do with Christianity, it still has a pull on my psyche and don't know how to feel about it. And yes, it is a beautiful podcast. It's going to have a pull on your psyche, and that's where you just have to be aware and then ask quality questions and then rewrite your definitions. Okay? That's how that goes. So, how to get out of a constant trigger sabotage cycle. 1, ask yourself quality questions. One is not ask yourself quality questions. One is pay what is it? Acknowledge. I like that better. Acknowledge your triggers. Okay. Number one thing you need to do to get out of a trigger sabotage cycle is fucking acknowledge your triggers. Avoidance of triggers will make them come back with a vengeance every single time till you learn the lesson, pay attention, clean, clear, and release them from you. Hence the Clean, Clear, and Release retreat that's happening on March 26th. If you want the link to sign up for that on Early Bird, just shout out clear in the comments. So first of all, acknowledge your triggers. Okay. Number 2, ask yourself quality questions. Quality fucking questions. Remember, this is not a quality question. What steps can I take to not expect this outcome for myself? You already expect the outcome for yourself, and what you expect will happen 100% of the time. What you fear most becomes you. Where your focus and energy goes, grows. You cannot have a different outcome than what you expect. In order to change your outcome, you have to change your expectations, what you see, what you view, and where your fucking energy goes. All right? Number 3, pay attention to the lies that you tell yourself. Really, number 3 is tell yourself the truth. Write that down. Throw it down in the chat. Tell myself the truth, right? That is number 3. Tell myself the truth. You have to tell yourself the truth. How do I know if I'm telling myself the truth? I've been lying to myself so long. Get in a container where someone can call you out. In my world, Soul Shift Healing is my membership. I do not hold back. I fucking call people out. I tell people like it is. I push them to fucking greatness. And this is why my clients go from surviving to thriving, from burnout to recharge, from disconnected to connected, from, down and out and suicide to peak personal power, almost is what it feels like in their soul, so fucking fast, because I don't play around. I'm not here to coddle you. No fluff, no hand holding, no bullshit, right? Just straight soul fucking fire, whatever the fuck it is that you need. Tell yourself the truth, okay? Remembering that comfortable feels bad. You feel comfortable. You know this. You've lived this. It's normal for you, but it doesn't feel good. You want to get the fuck out of it. Uncomfortableness feels good, but you don't like the way that feels because it feels good and you're not used to it because you've lived here your whole life. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Number 4, write new definitions. What is the truth for you? What are the new definitions? What is it for you fucking decide and start expecting yourself to live from there. Start expecting to live from these new definitions. Start expecting the result that it is that you want. Start expecting the life that it is that you want. Start expecting to feel the way that you want to feel and know the life that you want to live and the way that you want to feel and what those definitions are. Because if you don't know what they are, then the bullshit that you've been thinking about and expecting is what's going to be there. The only way to have what it is that you want is to make clear what it is that you want and expect what it is that you want to fucking become you. Okay? So go to soulfirepodcast.com, subscribe, listen, and share. It is fucking phenomenal. If you want to know what stage you are in spiritual awakening and soul healing, type soul or comment soul for the link to that free quiz. And if you want to create a calm in all areas of your life by cleaning and clearing all that no longer serves you, type clear in the comments. Remember to say yes to yourself more than you say yes to other people. It is always about progress, not perfection. And you must give yourself way more grace than you give everyone else because the world needs who you are made to be. So show up every single fucking day and slay as the badass you are. I'm Power Coach Alicia, and we'll see you next time. Bye.